Hey everyone, welcome back to another weekly webinar. So today we are going to tackle reading comprehension. I know all of you would have lots of different strategies for reading comprehension, but today we'll try to do a couple of passages based on the strategy that we advise our students to follow. It is quite useful for most people, and once they get comfortable with it, then it is the go-to strategy usually. Yeah. So even if you follow something else, don't worry. For today, just with me, follow the strategy that I tell you to, and then we'll see how you feel about it at the end of the session. Yeah. Okay. So this session will be a little different from the previous session. So I'll tell you how we'll go about it. First of all, and we're a little short on time because we have two whole passages planned. So that is why we'll just try to hurry up right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a passage and there'll be a couple of questions next to it. So just ignore the questions first. Even if you're in a habit of reading the question first, for now, just ignore the question. Read the passage twice. Yeah. First of all, read the passage and just skim it. That is, let's say read the first two lines properly, then maybe the end of the first paragraph, then read the first few lines of the second paragraph, then maybe the last lines. Just skim it. Don't worry too much about the details. Let's say take about 30-40 seconds at the most. So what we are doing in this case is we are familiarizing ourselves with what the topic of the passage is, because once we are comfortable with that, our second read will go much better. We'll be able to internalize the content much better. Yeah. Otherwise, normally, when we just read it once, we, for example, just ignore the first sentence, and that is actually the most important sentence of the passage. So we'll go the first read will be, let's say, about 30-40 seconds, just skimming it. Then we'll go on to the second read. Now, this is going to be the proper detailed read of the passage. So this is where we'll try to internalize the data that we are reading. Don't just read. Try to create a mental map while you're reading it. Like what I like to do is I try to imagine what is going on. Whatever they are telling me, I'm trying to imagine. Or in case there is certain data, I'm trying to just put it in certain structures so that I can recall that better. Yeah, this usually does take a little bit of time. I would say about a minute, minute and a half, depending on the length of the passage. In fact, it could even take up to 2 minutes. Don't worry too much about it, because once we are done with this very properly, all our universal questions, for example, they get sorted very easily. We'll need to go back with the stated detail, because often GMAT will give you wordings in a way that you would end up recalling something incorrect. The options will be rather tricky. So that is why for stated detail, we will go back to the passage, but your universal or tone or scope or whatever structures, normally those kind of things will get sorted very quickly. So don't worry about that. So first read will be about 30 to 40 seconds where you're just familiarizing yourself with the content. And the second is a proper detailed read where you're trying to make a mental map of what is given to you. Yeah. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the passage and two questions along with it. I'll give you, let's say, 6 minutes for that, where you will read the passage properly twice and you will do the two questions. Then I'll move the window. Then I'll give you another two questions. For that, I'll give you 3 minutes, and then another two questions, and I'll give you another 3 minutes for those questions. So in all, I'll give you 12 minutes, and we'll discuss six. I'll give you 6 questions on the passage, right? Once we are done with this, then we'll discuss the passage in detail, and we'll discuss each question as well. Sounds good?